Hello, everybody, and welcome to Anything Goes Wednesday. Yeah, I just made that up. Normally, anybody that's been following my channel and subscribers, you know that every Sunday I do a painting video with my oil paints. And I decided over the last, I don't know, maybe most of December that I wanted to have a second video a week. So I'm going to do it on Wednesdays. And it took me a while to figure out what I'm going to do. So basically what I came up with is Anything Goes Wednesday. So Sunday, I'm still going to have my normal paintings, follow along paintings, real-time videos, however they're called. And then on Wednesdays, I'm going to do whatever. And I wanted to have something, written out and, choreographed, and this is what I'm going to do. And then I thought to myself, none of my videos are ever like that. I don't paint that way, so why would I be regimented? So today is our, inaugural Wednesday. So this sketch, ignore. This is an old 11 by 14, I think, piece of 11 by 14. Yep, 11-14 canvas panel, a Hobby Lobby one. Just something real cheap. One of the things I like to do is try different stuff out, even though my main medium is oil painting. And my main paint, my go-to, and the only paint I use really, is the Winsor Newton Griffin Alkyd. I'll use stretch linen sometimes. For my shows and stuff, I'll use the cotton canvas from Blick for my videos for YouTube. And then my favorite is, for support, is my ampersand gesso board. So that is kind of, I don't want to say set in stone, but close. But I still like using other stuff to play. Play is the biggest way you get better at anything artistically. So today, I'm going to show you what I picked up for Christmas. And I hope you can see these. Actually, I'm just going to get the box. This is a box. Let me see here. Yeah, wait. Does it go all the way down? Good, it goes all the way down. So this is Phoenix. And what it is, these are oil pigment sticks. As a matter of fact, they're water-soluble pigment sticks. Okay? Hope you can see those. And I'll show you a couple of them up close individually. This is a 24 box that I got on Amazon. And I wanted to try them, so my wife got them for me for Christmas. They're $60 for 24 of them. They say they're artist quality, and they're not oil pastels. They're oil pigment sticks. So, what's the difference? Oil pastels never dry. They're a lot smaller. They have the same type of pigments. They have different binders. Pigment sticks are actual oil paint. Okay? There's one we're going to use today. Actual oil paint. Okay? Water-soluble oil paint stick. I don't have a lot of information. I think these are a Chinese company. And I don't have a lot of information, but I was able to find that they are light fast and they are considered professional, even though they're very inexpensive. They are very hard, so you can't layer these. So you have to plan out your paintings, which is a little different than what I usually do. If you try pigment sticks and you really like them and you want to paint with them, R&F pigment sticks are the best for actually doing a full painting. And the reason they're the best is because they're very, very, very soft. The only problem is they take forever to dry. These are water soluble. They're, depending on how thick, 3 to 10 days drying time, where I've had paintings that I've done with the R&F pigment sticks take 3 weeks. So it's just a matter of what you want. I'm using these to sketch and have fun. And that's the big thing. If you've watched any of my videos, you know my number one rule is to have fun no matter what. So we're going to do our normal type of stuff, but we're going to have a different approach to the painting. And this is just going to be quick. I don't even know if I'm going to finish the painting. I just want to give you a good idea of what you can do with these things and let you see if you like them. And I'll do more videos with these. So this won't be a one and done. So normally I have my brush with Viridian and Payne's Gray, and I'll have it real wet with our medium. No medium. This one's Ivory Black. Do the same type of thing. There's our horizon line, okay? Now, excuse me. Let's do our basic go-to composition, okay? We always do this composition when we're learning something new, okay? I like doing the same composition when we're learning different stuff, different techniques, different whatever, because it's something you don't have to think about. It's already in your brain. I want you to think about technique, having fun, not necessarily the composition you're painting. You're going to have stuff you like better than stuff I like and vice versa. So what you're painting isn't a big deal. It's how you're painting it that matters. And the biggest thing, having fun. Yes. I know you think I'm a broken record with that, and I probably am, but I really believe that entirely. Okay, so I'm going to get one that's a little easier to check out here. And this is a dark green. So they come in this little plastic tube, okay, which is real nice. The R&Fs do also. And then you peel off this, and I take palette knife and just scrape. And you can see possibly the scrapes in here. And that's how you get what, it has a little protective film. That film you can't paint with. It's hard paint. And it covers that film, it creates by itself when you put it aside for a while. Then you peel that film off, and now you've got pure pigment that you're painting with. So, this is how we did trees, remember? The only difference is instead of a brush, I'm using a pigment stick. Now, these blend very well. And let me see here. They blend very well, and they have very, as you can tell, good pigments. But as you can also tell, let me see if you can see that in there. Yeah, and when I edit this, I'm going to crop it in a little bit so you see more. These are very rough looking, okay? And when we get to the water or the sky, I think I'll do the sky first. I'll show you how you do the brush with it. So, you don't have to put them away every time. I do because I'm a klutz and I drop things. So instead of having pigment hitting the carpet of my studio and my wife yelling at me, I just put them in here. So when I do drop them, which is inevitable, I don't get yelled at. Okay, so now we've got, and the other thing that I don't like is these things don't come with names. A lot of stuff in Chinese, but they don't come with names. But if you've been painting for any length of time, you know it's ultramarine, raw sienna, yellow ochre, that type of thing. You can get an idea. Or you can just go dark green, light green, medium green, and it doesn't really matter as long as you know what you're doing. Okay, so let's go with the sky. Now, one of the things about these pigment sticks that you'll notice that I'm doing isn't all that dissimilar from what I do with the brush, okay? Remember, when we did our painting on Sunday, okay, I had some areas up top that I had the blue, and I think I put a lot of stuff in it, alizarin crimson and some other stuff, and then that was it. Everything else was white. So this is the same thing. The only difference is we don't have a brush. But we do have our titanium white. So what we're going to do is the same thing, no different. Go right into that blue. See how much lighter it's getting now? Now, I am very new to the water-soluble pigment sticks. The R&F ones are the ones I've used the most. And those are regular solvents, like conventional oil paints. So these, when I put, these don't have painting solvents, like a lot of other stuff does. I think I'm gonna put some mountains here, so I'll leave that alone. Okay, so right now that looks rough and that looks terrible. Oh, and here's when it blends. So take your paper towel, there you go. Now, for those of you who want to be really loose and rough, these would work. For any of you that don't like cleanup, all you need is paper towel and water. This would be for you. Anybody that wants to be a little bit more precise and plan out your painting so you know this tree has to go in first and then you put in the sky around it because these don't layer well because they're very hard, these are for you. If you want to just play and sketch and use this to use as reference for a formal painting, this is for you. So there's a lot of ways this will work. So next thing is, let's take a brush. And I know you've seen this brush before a million times, right? This is it's actually technically a gesso brush, but this is my main workhorse brush that I use with everything. So now I'm going to take some water because I don't have mediums with this. Now I could use other mediums, but then it wouldn't be water soluble unless I use water soluble. And I haven't gotten to the point yet where I know if other brands of water soluble mediums will work with these yet. I will eventually. So for right now, we're going to go with just a tear of water. And when I mean a hair, I mean a hair. And then I'm going to dry it off so it's barely damp. Because I do know from experience with water soluble oil paints that too much water and it's like bad. So, very rough. So let's see about smoothing it out. There we go. See how that works? Now remember too, this is barely a student grade support. So it's gonna not look quite as good as it would if it was, a really good support. And you can do the side of the brush like you've seen me do a million times on our paintings, just to blend the stuff in. See what I'm doing? You see me do it like this a bunch. Okay? And you see me blend it out like that. And there's that greenish tint in the sky that we've grown to love. And there's a hair. Now, you're going to have little pieces of pigment that go on a rougher surface like this, and they'll leave, little clumps here and there, residue. Those, if you put them into your brush like this, will eventually blend in. And then some that are too big, you can just take like that one there. There we go. And then get it out. Now, give you an idea of why these are bad for layering. Okay. Oh, actually, let's do this. Can you see the pigment on there? Too close. You see that? Now I've got just my normal brush wash jar with fresh water and a little thing on the bottom that I put the brush on. So, oh wow. And these are very water soluble. That's just a stain from being an old brush. So all the pigment is off. Now, there is something you do have to understand about these and anything that's water mixable, oil paints or water soluble, whatever you want to call. I did get my Holbein Duo Aqua water mixable oil paints. Blick sent them as they always do on time. So that will be our video on Sunday. When you use bristle brushes, from watching my videos, I don't wash them during my paintings a lot anyway, which is good for that because water will make the bristles, if they're not real stiff bristles, it'll make them mushy and then they won't be usable for painting. And they'd have to just dry a lot longer. Okay, so here's the issue I have with these paints. These in particular, not this concept. is if you want to put clouds in, you need a softer stick to do it with, where the RNF pigment sticks do work. Because I'm barely touching it and you can't even see it. I go a little harder and you've got a little bit of pigment coming off, but you don't have that bright white. And a lot of it goes right down to the bottom. So this is the part about these I don't like for this particular brand. There it is again. So to fix that, well, not fix it, but then I'm going to take another brush, my 1-inch, and I'll just do our normal stuff. Doggone it. There we go. And it doesn't even move it that well that way. So, if you want to do clouds that'll look real good with clouds, your best bet, in my opinion, is to not paint that part of the sky. There's a lot of oil painters that I've seen paint clouds first, and then the sky around it. So you might want to do it from that angle. Okay, I'm not going to wait. I need that brush again, so I'm not going to rinse it. Now, what's the next thing I'm going to do? I am going to put in those mountains that I promised you. And the other thing is too, paper towels are a must. So, I'm going to go really heavy pressure-wise just so I can get mark. That's the only way to get it to layer. And if you go too much, it goes right down to the right down to the panel and lifts off the previous. Because I want to go over it completely and not have it on top of, it doesn't matter to me. And I'll just put that layer like that. There we go. And you can kind of tell how heavy I'm putting this down. Now they do come with a blender stick, which is basically wax and colorless, which I haven't found a good use for yet, but I'm still working on these. And it will eventually come to me what I'm supposed to do with them. But in the meantime, I just like doing different stuff. There we go. And the reason I'm doing this Anything Goes Wednesday is there's a lot of stuff that I do during the course of the week that prepares me for making a painting. And, you know, I have a full-time job and everything else, so sometimes I come home and I'm tired and I'm like everybody else. When I do stuff like this, I'm not putting this on my site for sale. One, it's inferior panel. Okay, so I'm not going to sell that to anybody. Second, it isn't going to turn out like the paintings that I like. Okay, give you a perfect example. This is one we did a couple weeks ago together on a Sunday. Okay, this I like and I'm proud of. That is fun, play, finding new techniques. Do you know what else this is good for? Seeing what you like for color combinations next to each other. There's 24 colors. I only took out maybe 10 of them because you don't know. This is where you have fun. This is where you play. This is where you get the cheapest stuff you can to paint on and you just let it go. So let's go with, this is actually a very good yellow. I think it's a cad yellow. It's a real good yellow. So now check this out. The reason I'm getting away with it here, and you're seeing it look the way it does and look pretty decent, is because my sky is blue and I'm putting yellow on it, which yellow and blue is what? Green. little bit more back here. Excuse my arm. Okay, I wasn't even going to do this, but now, because it's blending real well, I'm going to say the hell with it. I'm going to go all the way. This saves us from not having a good cloud coverage. There we go. Oh wow, that actually has possibilities. Again, you're blending, so there's your yellow, and then there's what's blending. Take your paper towel, and now you got clean yellow again. And when you get too close, you just take a little knife. I've got a little razor knife here. Slit it and just peel it off. And you're ready to go again. Which I'll probably have to do with this before this painting session's over. Like I said, I'm not going to finish this all the way. I just want to give you a good idea. I'll look at 20 minutes or less. Oh God, I'm already at 21. I talk too damn much. Okay, so we're going to go with white for our highlight. I'm going to finish the mountain, and what we'll do is next Wednesday I'll finish this, and then we'll go from there. So, highlights. I'm going to have to hit it pretty hard. And then for something like this, you got to keep wiping it to make sure you have that clean white. Now, one of the things I'm doing is I'm going right between the mountain and that foliage. There we go. Wipe it as I go. Coming out a little better than I thought. I'm going to have some blue for the shadow. And you know how we do shadows? Go with the opposite. I want to catch that line. That way it makes it look like all the foliage is behind us. There we go. Okay, that mountain isn't all that bad. Better than I expected it to be. This is the third time I'm doing these. So I'm starting to learn a few things and get a little better with them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the trees by getting some of the green broken up, and I'm going to do that with black. So basically, and I'm just turning this to keep it reasonably sharp edge. There we go. With the yellow again. This is the part where softer would work better. Now I'm just putting thick paint. Remember how thick we always go? I'm just going straight in. You can hear I'm hitting it hard. Now, unlike oil pastels, this will dry. So this actually, if this is on a good support, I can seal this after everything cures completely and sell it. Where oil pastels people sell, no question, but they got to put usually a double matte and then put them behind glass, which is a real pain in the you know what. Where oil paintings, once you put the seal on them, you don't need glass. You can frame them as is, and they're really nice. It actually came out pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna shoot for 30 minutes now. I'm at 25/17, so use a little bit of yellow ochre here. Get the base. There we go. That came out good. Basically, one of the things that I want to try and do on these Wednesday videos is I do want to keep them to 20 minutes or less. So I apologize for our first one going way over. But what I want to do is I want to give you different materials, different ideas. It's very, very, very cost effective. And give you tools to play with, which will be a huge step in the right direction of helping your finished oil paintings turn out better. It's all a mindset, and it's just something that you really need to embrace. Again, it sounds cheesy, I know, but the play, I found out, and I was very stubborn with it, but I found out playing is more important than regimented practice. Regimented practice is bullshit for people that are wired like I am and paint like I do and want to have fun like I do. It's a bunch of horseshit, okay? You don't need anything regimented. You need some stuff to have fun with, and you throw color on to that stuff, and you have a good time. And then there's going to be some things that you're going to think to yourself, wow, that came out good. Like today. Wow, those little chunks look like a palette knife. That's a good thing. You know how much I love a palette knife. That has similar looks to some of the flowers that I use. Now I found out that the dark blue I have, which I think is ultramarine, goes real well for a shadow on the black I had, and it actually shows up. I think it shows up on the, yeah, it shows up on the video too. So you learn stuff just by screwing around and playing. So I'm serious. If you never take anything I say seriously, please take the play. Because the play was instrumental in me getting to the point I am at now. Shoot from the hip. I don't give a shit. It is not the case. I do care what it looks like. I do care about creating good art. But what I don't care about is having a regimented process to get it done. I care about having fun and knowing that having fun will create good art. So, let's see here. I bet you I went over again. I'm liking this water. It's got a rough texture to it. I'm going to use the brush to smooth it out a little bit. And if you notice, I've used the brush very little. Actually, so far, the only thing I've used the brush for is the sky. So that's also another plus. And then when you do use the brush, I showed you how simplistic it was to clean. You know, right now, this is completely hazardous free. You can do this in your kitchen table. Now granted, you got to put a little bit more effort into these than you would other sticks. Okay, now I'm figuring it out. I am not going to use the brush on this. I like the way this is looking. Hey, Stan, hell yeah. That's coming out good. Okay, that was a pleasant surprise. That works. That works. Okay, so let me get the land in, and we're going to call it a day. And then what we're going to do is something I've never done before with these, is I'm going to let the painting dry completely, and then I'll put the final details edit highlights and stuff like that next Wednesday. So we'll finish it. Because what I'm thinking is, as hard as these are, wet into wet isn't practical. But maybe if they dry completely first, I'll be able to get them to look good. So I'm going to go with my dark green again. And I got all kinds of colors. So as we do this together, you know, you'll see everything I have. But see, one of the reasons why I like this is I'm a very big believer in soft pastels. I absolutely love the medium because you don't even have a brush between your hand and what you're painting. And that's what this is. The problem I have with soft pastels is, as beautiful as they are, and they're damn near pure pigments with just enough binder to keep them in stick form, the problem is they're so freaking delicate. You look at them the wrong way and they can smudge. And there are no, that I've seen and tried, and I've tried every one I can find, fixatives that'll fix it and not screw up the colors, because the colors are so gorgeous with being so much pigment. And when I go to art shows, there's very few people that do them because they are so difficult to carry around and stuff like that. But this is what it reminds me of a little bit. Other than when these dry, I don't have to worry about smudging. Okay, so I'm done for today. This is our first of, I hope, many of our Anything Can Go Wednesdays. And these, like I said, these are water mixable oil paint sticks. Not oil pastels, oil paint sticks. This particular ones are made from a company called Phoenix. I had a lot of fun with these. I hope you give them a try. I don't remember seeing these on Jerry's or Dick Blick, but I got them from Amazon. So I'm betting you can find them in individual sticks on Amazon if you don't want to buy the set. But like I said, the 24 pack, okay, was $60 total if it's something that might interest you. So what I suggest is wait until next weekend and we'll learn together if finish the painting over a dry painting makes the layering better. Maybe I can put a few clouds in here that'll stand out. Maybe the highlights will come out a little better. So we might be able to do that stuff. Until Sunday, I hope everybody has a great rest of your work week, and we'll talk to you later.